So we took a look at how to find a rectangular based prism, or find the area of a surface area of a rectangular based prism. What happens if we have a different sized base, or a different looking base? In this case here, we have a triangular base, and so we would call this a triangular based pyramid, or sorry, prism. Now again, when we're using the net of a prism, the area of the object can now be seen a little bit clearer. All sides are visible and can be calculated, or at least we can kind of see what it looks like. Okay. We're going to do that the same with this triangular based prism. We're going to draw out the triangular based prism and then find the area in a little bit. So with a triangular based prism, what we have is we have a triangle that's going to look kind of like that, and we're going to have some rectangles which are going to make up the sides. Now you'll notice that the sides are all rectangles. Okay, so I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to put one here. This is the one that's going to attach to this side here, and this is the one that's going to attach to that side there, and they'll meet up in the middle. And then let's draw another triangle. Try to draw it somewhat about the same size, though I need to make it a little different. There we go, some of the same size. It's a lot easier to do this on paper than to do it on computer, but it's just the way that I have decided to go about it here. So there would be our triangular prism. Now again, the sides, well, we have an equilateral based prism here. So this is 10 centimeters. And all of our other sides are also 10 centimeters, and so we should label that. Okay, and when I ask you to draw out draw and label the net, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so draw out the sides, and then this length right here is 6 centimeters. And because we have a triangle there, then we're also looking for, let's draw this here, we're also looking for this line right here. There is our height. Okay, and we should be drawing that height as well. And that height is 8 centimeters. A little bit tough to see, but we got it right. There we go. Okay. Now again, this is not drawn to scale. If you want to try to draw yours more to scale, if this is 10 centimeters, this would definitely not be 6. But it is at least a representation as to what it looks like. This gives us now the fact that we have 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. The triangle being our base and our top, or the front and back, we'll call it the base, and then the rectangles being something we call the lateral area. I'm just going to write that out here. Okay, so rectangles equal lateral area. Okay, so they're going to equal our lateral area. Now again, when we have a rectangular base prism, we also have rectangles as our bases, but we're looking for pick your base, and then the rest is going to be our lateral area. Now, when the net when the net is unfolded, okay, the middle sides can be thought of as a rectangle, and this is a little bit of what I've kind of been talking about over the course of the last few examples. Okay, it can be thought of as a rectangle, right? So these rectangles are actually one large rectangle altogether. The one length is still the same. Okay, in this case here, it'd be 6 centimeters. We're going to keep that exactly the same. That's still one length. But our other length, as I mentioned, is the perimeter of the base shape. And it's the perimeter of the base shape. So in this case here, it's going to be the perimeter of this triangle, which each side is 10 centimeters. So it's 10 plus 10 plus 10. And if we see 10 and 10, we're going to assume that the other one is 10 as well. So let's using that and using kind of that formula that idea that we looked at earlier, let's calculate the area of this previous triangular prism. So the area is going to be 2 times the base area plus the base perimeter times the length of our shape. And now what I'm going to do here, we're going to kind of have to put it into formulas here. Okay, we have a triangle as our base area, so it's going to be 2 times base times height divided by 2. Okay, so it's 2 times the base times height divided by 2. And I'm just going to take off the brackets because we don't need them there. And then we're going to add the base perimeter, okay, which is going to be 10 plus 10 plus 10, or 3 times 10 centimeters. Get back into this formula here. Okay, so plus 3 times 10 centimeters. And then we're going to multiply that, and I'll maybe just put this in the brackets just for the time being because we haven't solved it yet. We're going to multiply that by our length of it, which is 6 centimeters. And so these are the lengths of each side. We're adding it all together, 4 sides, or sorry, 3 sides, each is 10 centimeters. And so we can do it that way. I'm just going to do area is equal to 2 times base times height. So we have 10 centimeters times 8 centimeters, which is our height. And we're going to divide that by 2. And then we're going to add, we have 30 centimeters, which is our perimeter. And we're going to multiply that by 6 centimeters. And we're going to get that the area is equal to, now I'm going to use my calculator for this here. (260 centimeters squared). That's 260 centimeters squared. So let's put it all together. Now again, we could find this is 60, 60, 60, and then each of our triangles is going to be 40. Okay, so 40 plus 40 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 is going to give us 260 centimeters squared. But again, we can use this formula here and to try to make it maybe a little bit simpler. The last example I want to go through here in this video is a cylinder. Okay, a cylinder has a circle top, okay, and it has a rectangular side. What does that look like as a net? Well, it's going to be a circle with a rectangle attached to it. It's going to look like that. And a second circle on the bottom. Try to make those close to the same size as possible. There we go. These two are going to be the same size, and then we're going to have a rectangle in the middle. Now again, just like all the rest of them here, we're going to quickly label our, let's do a slightly different blue here. Okay, so we have 4 centimeters is our diameter, and this length right here is 7 centimeters. Okay, those are all the only dimensions that we have there. Okay, so we have our 2 circles, okay, as well as our rectangle. Now, a rectangle, again, this length here on top is going to be the perimeter of the circle. Okay, it's the perimeter of the circle. And so again, we're going to do something very similar to what we've done on the other examples, is we're going to find that rectangle, we have to do the base perimeter, which is the circumference, times by the length, which is 7 centimeters in this case here. Our area is 2 times the base area. Okay, again, that's a circle in this case here, plus the base perimeter times the length, or height, if you want to think of it that way, of this cylinder. Okay, I'm going to put in our formulas really quickly here. Area is equal to 2 times pi r squared. Okay, that's our base area plus our base perimeter. Now to find the perimeter of our circle, it's pi times diameter, and then we're going to multiply it by the length. I'm just going to put I'll put a little L in there. Okay, so this is our base area right there. We're multiplying by 2. This is our perimeter, pi times diameter, and then we're multiplying by the length. I'm just going to move it over here. I'm going to switch around the color a little bit. All right, so to find our area, 2 times, actually, you know, this isn't going to fit. I'm going to move it over here again. Just change the colors to make it a little easier. Pi times the radius, which is 2 centimeters squared, plus pi times the diameter, which is 4 centimeters, times the length, which is 7 centimeters, and that is going to give us our total area. Now again, you can gladly use your calculator for this. Okay, I'm not going to force you in any way to do it without a calculator. Okay. I would be very impressed if you could do pi without a calculator. 2 times pi times 2 squared plus pi times 4 times 7 gives us 113.10 centimeters squared. And that gives us our answer. Okay, so base area, that circle, okay, we multiply it by 2 because there's a top and there's a bottom. Then we take the perimeter of the base, okay, in this case it's the circumference, we multiply that by the length. We add it all together and that's going to give us our area. I want you to work on questions 4 through 10. Okay, when it asks to draw a net, please draw a net. When it asks to just solve, you can solve. Make sure about units, make sure you are showing your calculations and your work as well.